Hi, my name is Zach Catkin. I'm with Olympia Marketing, and I've got the talented, exceptional realtor, Kevin Bartlett, with me today. We're talking everything real estate for the last quarter in 2023 and what's coming for 2024, as well as we're going to specifically talk about the Pelican Landing and Bonita Bay communities. How are you doing, Kevin?
Good, Zach. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good as well. And one thing to note, Kevin is on the road, so his internet may go in and out a little bit. So we're going to do the best we can. So where I wanted to start with this is basically, we met about a little more than a month ago at this point. We talked about what's happening for the all of 2023 as well as Q4 2023. Has anything changed? What are you seeing on the ground? Just give us a synopsis of what you're seeing in the market.
Well, what we're seeing right now is that a lot of people have really, started the traffic on everyone's websites are going up. Everything is, moving forward in that regards. But, there's still uneasy uncertainty out there. But you definitely can tell that, sellers are putting their houses up on the market and sellers are ready to move.
Gotcha. So where are you seeing those sellers trying to move to at this point?
Newer construction, a lot, specifically Pelican Landing and Bonita Bay. There's a ton of, older demographic clientele over there. And what's going on is a lot of them, their kids don't want them to own the home anymore. They don't want to maintain the home anymore. They just want to, move to assisted living or, an age facility if they're full-time residents down here. And that's the big thing with everything going in regards to that. But, pretty much what we're seeing right now is there's just a lot of people that have, a number in mind and a lot of buyers that want to buy, but they're still taking their time. And everything is, just slowly moving right now, dribbling along.
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing is we're seeing our normal uptick that we see for season, but things are obviously because of rates, because of inventory, because of the economy overall, things are moving faster than they were maybe a month and a half ago, but still slower compared to last year. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Are there any other big trends that you're seeing? I think we talked about last time some people considering moving to other areas like Georgia, the Carolinas, etc.
There's still a massive uptick of people relocating out of the area. There's just, people want to get out of the area. They want to have something less pricey, something a little bit better, you know, and everything in that regards. But the big thing is, they just don't want to go ahead and, you know, stay local. A lot of people, they just want to move out of the area because everyone feels like their little town has turned into a mid-sized city.
Lost Kevin.
Oh,
Let's
are you there?
see. I think, yeah, we lost you for a little bit there.
Basically,
I think it might. Go ahead, sir.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Everyone really, they came down here when it was a little city, and now everyone is just back to normal and pushing the envelope. But there's just no one wants to get real about numbers, and that's the biggest issue right now.
Gotcha. So, and what does that look like exactly? As far as is this what we talked about last time, where the pricing for 2022 was, had skyrocketed. Now it's a year later. From what I'm seeing, prices have dropped in some areas and some markets, some inventory pieces like condos, for example, precipitously, and they're not willing to compromise. They still want that, that high end price, that top of the boom price that was a year out.
But everyone still wants that.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Before we get, because I want to concentrate on talking about Bonita Base specifically, as well as Pelican Landing, and we're gonna literally transition to that in a minute here. But I wanted to, I brought up some stats. I wanted to get your opinion on it. This first stat on my screen, you can see here, is a calculator for the average price per square foot in the area. And now the tricky thing is, I'm not exactly sure, this was for quote unquote Southwest Florida. I don't know if this was in a specific area, but we've seen, in June, it was massive. According to this graph, it was about $600. It was like $589 per square foot. And then, we've dropped here now in November to $309 a square foot, or down 47%. Is that what you're seeing live, like on the ground?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's unprecedented. And that's one thing I feel like people in this community haven't realized, is we had such an influx with COVID. And obviously everybody does recognize this to some extent. The roads are busier than ever. There's more people than ever. There's more growth than ever. But, and obviously that came with increasing prices. But now, July, August, September, October, November, 5 months, and we've seen a absolute cratering of the of some of the markets. So do you feel, one thing that I know we've discussed in private, are there differences between the low end market or mid market, anything from, let's say, 200 to 500,000, or maybe 800,000, and then the high end market? Do you see differences there where the prices are remaining stable on the higher end?
Prices on the higher end are remaining stable, just because those people, they have the ability to do whatever they want. They have cash.
Gotcha.
They have equities. They can draw. The market doesn't really affect them. The people that are most affected
Gotcha.
are the people that can go ahead and they're going to upsize from their first house. So the 450 to $1.3 million is the biggest price point that is hurting right now. Anything out,
Gotcha.
a Lehigh Acres market, anything in Fort Myers, San Carlos Park, those houses are still moving. They're moving slower, but they're still moving because people would rather pay a mortgage than, go $3,200 for rent currently, which is what's
Right.
out there.
Right. Gotcha. And now looking on my screen again here, let me see if I zoom in. This is, unfortunately, NABUR, I believe they put out this data anywhere between like the 11th of the month and the 16th or so. I just checked it before we got on this call, and these are the most recent statistics that they had available, which is still old. This is back in September. So hopefully in a day or two, we're going to have the updated stats. But we see overall inventory up 13%, pending sales up almost 20%, median closed price up 3%, which is kind of ironic considering everything we've been talking about. New listings, we've got almost 30% increase in listings. Closed sales 5%, and days on market almost 50%. I think that what you just said, those markets in particular, Fort Myers, Lehigh, St. Carlos, they're still moving, but I find it interesting that the days on market overall, and this is more skewed obviously for Naples, but is up 50%. That's pretty crazy. What do you see with your clients? How, that's one interesting thing I think about you in particular. We've gone over those stats. How long does it generally take you to sell a home?
Within 32 days of listing it, if the house is priced right in current market conditions.
32 days?
Yep.
Gotcha. So you're literally 50% faster than the average, as far as the current timeline. That's pretty astounding. How do you accomplish that?
It's a trade secret, sir. Can't let anyone know about that one.
Gotcha.
But if they want to learn, they can sign a listing contract and sell their house with me.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, any general, things like, your connections, network marketing, that kind of stuff?
Well, we use a lot of marketing, photos, pictures, videos, and showcase the house in the proper light. But, besides that, we have a huge database in the Bonita Bay and Pelican Landing, and all of Bonita, Estero, and, North Naples area, that we just have people that call us before we get listings, and we save them in our database, and, we call them when we get those listings that they're looking for, which is, a huge thing, that we're proactive instead of reactive.
Gotcha. So I think that's a good segue. Let's talk about Bonita Bay specifically. What's been your experience in this community, and what do you see happening right now, and where do you see things going?
Great community, people, I think it keeps going up. I think, the golf course, the amenities, everything that happens in there, in regards to what you get for amenities. Your wait times, 2 to 3 years to get on the golf course, if that you so choose. But
Wow.
you're seeing a lot of people start, going into condos that had bigger homes. You're starting to see more younger people, purchase in there, because it is a boating community at the same time as what's going on over there. So, your demographic has substantially changed since the original inception of Bonita Bay, but without going into, grave detail about it, you go there, it's close to everything. It's in the heart of Bonita Springs. There was a vision there, and now you're really starting to see people understand why, with the luscious landscaping that's in there, the marina, the restaurants, the golf, you get 3 courses, and it's just without a doubt one of the nicest communities in Southwest Florida.
Gotcha. Let me ask, if I'm a client, I'm unfamiliar with the area. It's been my experience working with you over the years, especially on the investment end, that, and even you've worked with family of mine, you kind of size a person up, you get to know who they are, their lifestyle, etc., and then you make recommendations. And I've never, honestly, you've been spot on. So what kind of person do you see Bonita Bay to be ideal for, or vice versa? If you saw this particular person, boom, Bonita Bay is the perfect community for you.
So, someone that enjoys the beach, because you get the beach membership with it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that is a big golfer, avid golfer, or someone that likes social memberships. But, there's no real way to size them up besides, if they're a golfer and a boater and want to be in Bonita Estero area, Bonita Bay is the only place they can go.
Right.
That has,
Right.
West Bay Club, right, is like the little sister to Bonita Bay. It's a lot less desirable. It's a lot, it's out of the way. They don't have a marina. They have a boat launch. But, someone that is an avid fisherman, or, so chooses to live in a golf course community and wants boating rights, there's so much more to being able to have your boat at a marina. So you hop out, you drive from your house to the marina, you get on your boat, you go out 50 miles at 5 a.m., you catch, some fish, come back in, walk away. The boat, if you have that service, they'll clean the boat, they'll put it away. There's no issues there. That is a tremendous, advantageous buyer. I just sold a couple there, a high rise,
Mm-hmm.
and he's joining the new golf course called Kinsale. Love the people to death. They live in a far out by East Bonita Bay golf course, and in Twin Eagles. That's where they were. They decided to go a high rise after looking at single family and, high rise condo units. And Bonita Bay was on the top of their list because they had friends. But besides that, they had a tremendous ability to see what that unit could be, because it's like living in a single family home, with no recourse or action of taking care of the home. You just put your shutters down, you walk away, you go back, and you get a beautiful view on top of that. Now, the husband was so excited. He can potentially get a boat. He's going to join the membership at Bonita Bay. And, they're going to be happily ever after because it's so close to everything that they like to do and all their friends.
Right. Yeah, and I've spent quite a bit of time at that marina through some friends, and you're absolutely right. There's nothing remotely close. I guess what would the closest be essentially? You've got Bonita Beach Road, the marina down there, or Fort Myers Beach, but everything's going to be 20, 30 minutes away at an absolute minimum. And to be able to just essentially, like this gentleman, walk downstairs, not have to ever take care of any landscaping, any outdoor, any, extremity, roof, etc. Hop in your boat and go any time of day. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and one other thing, Zach, is, the only thing that could make it better is to have the pub chips that are served at Mullet Creek come to Bonita Bay Marina.
Right.
But, I don't think we're dealing with the same kind of person that goes to Mullet Creek versus Bonita Bay's,
Right.
marina.
Absolutely not. So, okay, well, are there any last closing remarks you'd like to make about Bonita Bay? Anything that comes to mind as far as, other things that you really like about the community?
The wildlife out there is, just it's one of the best communities, I think, master plan.
Yeah.
So that's the community sells itself.
Right. One thing that I've thought about for quite a while is, and it's in some ways a negative for Bonita overall, but ultimately it's a huge positive for Bonita Bay in particular. You've got that massive stretch along 41 from what would it be, south of Terry, and then almost all the way to where Old 41, basically the next community we're going to be talking about, Pelican Landing, where nothing will be developed in front of it, right? It almost comes right up to 41. So you've got a landscape outside of the community, like so many communities today we see, they're up in arms because the city or the county is developing and new investors are coming in. There's apartment complexes going up. You're really never going to see that with Bonita Bay. It's all the way tucked back between the Gulf or the Bay and 41. There's no room for anything. So Bonita over there is always going to stay the way it is and look the way it is. Do you agree with that? Is there any possibility
Without a doubt.
of? Yeah, gotcha. All right, well then let's transition into Pelican Landing. What's going on there? What have you seen? What do you have any stories similar to the one that you just mentioned as far as the couple that you sold recently in the condo?
Right now, currently, we have a ton of people that we are reaching out to, and we're calling, we're moving everything, and they're coming through. And sorry, the phone's going crazy right now. Pelican Landing, I don't have any similar stories there. A lot of people buy there because affordable price point, you get a lot with it. Now, the one thing I will admit that Pelican Landing has on Bonita Bay, which is an untold secret, they have the kayak stations, they have the canoe station, so you can canoe out. But what's even bigger than that is the fully redesigned beach bar. That is the coolest thing ever. It's, the Hyatt has the boat by the Hyatt, but Pelican Landing owns that. So they just redid it. It has bar, food, chairs. You don't have to bring anything out there. You take the trolley boat and you could be there all day and enjoy the Florida lifestyle. Without a doubt, I would, recommend to anyone to try and go experience that with friends or anything, because that really would sway you to, if you don't want to own a boat and like the beach.
Yeah.
That's a huge selling feature. Myself personally, I hate the beach.
Well, you're in a great place.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
So that's the beach that they share with Hyatt, right?
Correct.
Or they lease to. Gotcha. I have a couple times I've done like mini staycations at the Hyatt. I've gone out on the trolley, and so they totally redesigned the bar and kind of pub that's out there, or the restaurant that's out there.
They did.
Sorry, you went out there. What was that?
They did. It's all completely
Gotcha.
redesigned and reimagined. You know, it got leveled during the storm, and we're moving forward with it. And you know that's it. It's really nice now compared to what it was.
Very cool. Yeah, and I have to say, I'm the opposite. I do love the beach, but I hate going because parking, and there's tons of people these days, even in off season now. And I've never, if you could experience the beach every day by just hopping outside your home, taking the trolley, crossing the bay, and getting to this private beach, that would definitely be the way to go, in my opinion. I mean, literally, you can take an hour or more to get and find a spot in Bonita Beach, Barefoot Beach, the park at the end of Immokalee or Vanderbilt, or even more south. It's a nightmare these days. So that is, I'm looking here. It's 12 minutes from where you get picked up on the shuttle boat to the beach. That's fantastic. You could read a book and while you're on the boat, and then boom, get dropped off. So you said it's more affordable. What are the price differences? What kind of people do you generally see going into Pelican Landing?
That would you see a lot of people same age, the golf course, everything like that. It's all coming in same buyer profile. It just depends on what exactly you want, lifestyle
Gotcha.
wise. And that's the big thing. You get a lot more single family homes and villas in Pelican Landing than Bonita Bay. And the price point is probably about 20% less for those. And that's really the big thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything we wanted to cover today. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, or anything that comes to mind?
No, just, what does it, how's it been with you and everything like that? And how's Olympia doing?
Good. We're doing great. We've added, probably in the last month, about 10 new clients. So working on tons of new projects, and it's going fantastically. Let me ask, how does somebody get in touch with you? What's your contact information?
My office line is 239-977-5642. And, everything else, you can reach me at knowledgebasefl.com or office@knowledgebasefl.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate your time, and we'll do this again. Take care.
All right. Sounds good. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.